Oh, hey, mate, all right?
How are you?
Yeah, a bit surprised by that RBA announcement.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that was a shock.
I had a pending order in on the like the 20 bounce for Euro Oz,
hmm
and like it all happened so quick, um, and it entered me slippage. So thankfully the damage wasn't that bad, and then stopped me out all in one hit.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it was just like, wow. And I'd kind of anticipated if it was on hold. So I had it kind of fairly low anyway, but the move was that big that it just went
Yeah.
just swipe.
Yeah, completely reversed
Anyway.
Monday. Now it's back into this consolidation. So this consolidation is going to give it some resistance. So they need to unwind this position. So
Yeah.
this area is holding it so far. But yeah, I have to see how the dust settles now with this one. You can
Yeah,
see.
I had my entry just on that consolidation, just on the other one to your left,
Oh, this
that
one.
other blue in there. I had my entry at the bottom of that. Um, and yeah, it entered me and stopped me out
Mm.
real quick.
Yeah, that's what happens when these when it's a fairly like interest rates are pretty big decisions. So when they get them wrong, when the forecast is wrong, there's a pretty quick unwind. So gosh, man,
Yep.
Euro Kiwis holding up stronger. So we'll see. I think the way it sounded, it wasn't unanimous. So it gives Aussie some strength for now, but it doesn't say that they're not going to cut now in the future. Like they were pretty divided, but they held just with the idea that tariffs might cause inflation. Like all these world leaders, all these central bank leaders, they need these tariffs to cause inflation. Otherwise, they're all barking the same tune. Maybe they will, maybe they won't.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's focus on German 40 now for this morning. So we're pretty bullish here. Things are just continuing to rally. Where's do I have the? Oh, that's right. It was on Pepperstone yesterday because Forex wasn't working. So I figured out on the trading view why things kept on changing, why I kept on losing my indicators, or they kept on reverting back. So apparently that when you save, you like, because I've never had any issues with drawing my zones and the zones disappearing. They always stayed. It was just the indicators, and apparently it's because the drawings. Because I thought it was on autosave. I mean, it is on autosave, but the drawings are on autosave. But whenever you make changes to indicators is a different save button that you need to actually hit. So, and that's on the mobile, not so much this. But then the mobile wasn't making changes, wasn't saving the changes, and then it was using that as like the default, and then this was going to the mobile, seeing what the mobile setup was. So there's a bit of a workaround, but I think I finally it's been something that's been bothering me for like maybe a year when I've been seeing that constantly. So kind of glad I got to the bottom of this. Morning, Michael. Morning, Adelaide. Okay, so yesterday we were looking for longs, and the longs came in after much waiting, and boy, they went. They went and they went and they went and they went and they went. And actually it was a very good day. So just had to sit through had to sit through all of this. Like this was a pretty tough sit through. This let me turn that off now. This is a pretty tough sit through all of this. Well, didn't sit through all of it. Sat through most of it, and then just had to trust the trade. and then just not watch it. And then all basically this one 5-minute candle is the one that pushed up and it hit my target. And then I didn't really leave much on for a runner because I wasn't really sure ultimately where we're going to go, but price just continued for a long time. But I was pretty well happy with the day. Whatever happens after the trade, it's that's if it wasn't planned for, then you can't be disappointed missing the move. But I wasn't. Like, we got the. It was a good move. It was still around like 80 odd pips, and then after this consolidation, the longer it consolidates, often the bigger a breakout. But it was a tough watch sitting through all of here. We're gonna have a whole bunch of new zones now, so I'm just gonna remove everything. I'm gonna start again. How did you guys get on yesterday? Going good? That's good. Okay, so that's about 10 a day. This one. Okay, so we've got this London session up here. You didn't trade, Sarah? How's your back? Is it any latest flare-ups?
No, I've got the MRI scan back. I don't know if I told you. I've got 2 slip discs, and a bit of nerve damage. Yeah. So I'm still on the meds. So I'm listening in just to keep myself in, but I'm not trading. I trade on my own little account. I'm not doing anything on my funded. Yeah.
Okay, so we're dealing with this zone here. This is the zone where we've got some volume above here. Okay, there's your like little imbalance. You've got a zone up here, and we want to see what this zone is reacting from, because currently we've got the wick into it, and then price came down. Price is now rallying today. Still got Asia low, so potentially this level kind of stands out. Now, what is this reacting from? It's reacting from stuff up here. So have you guys done your markups, done your levels already? I take silence as a no.
No, I haven't. I've just been looking at gold this morning.
Oh yeah, how'd you get on yesterday with gold? Gold is just like it basically closed where it opened. Like
yeah, it was a nice trade yesterday on gold.
Like a perfect doji. Okay, so this level here. Okay, so
we'll say hello first.
Hey, Danny, and Danny boy.
Hi everyone.
How are you, mate?
Good, mate.
It's good to hear. Just trying to mark up some zones, some levels for us. Have you guys got any zones of interest that you're flagging? be shy, guys. You guys need to point out.
Yeah, mine was on the 4 hour, around about the 9th of June.
Yeah.
It's sort of already wicked into that once
In the spin.
and almost twice yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering if it gets back up into it, will it go to the top of that zone?
Yeah, okay.
That was kind of the idea.
Yeah. Okay, so these are the levels above price that I'm interested in. Now below, not really interested in looking for shorts, to be honest. What's this? Bounce of trade.
Jesus.
We've got this area. All right, so I think we've got some zones in now. All right, so I think these are my zones I'm going to play with today. So we've got what's happened. So yesterday, we started. London pushed up all the way to the close. Once it finally started rallying, New York pushed down, came up, and then we've got a little bit of manipulation with like some. This is on. We had some Trump news last night. So if we go to let's bring up Forex. So Aussie cash rate, that was
Massive shock.
yeah, there's a big shock. You see Dominic Chalmers, sorry, not Dominic Chalmers, Jim Chalmers, when he came out, and he just had this look on his face. He's like, "Far out, I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be a crap press conference." Okay, so no real news there. So yesterday's news was Trump announced that he sent letters out to a bunch of countries, most notably Japan and South Korea, and that was a 25% tariff on them. So that's going to hurt Japan, that's for sure. So now Japan is going to be, the yen is going to be, we've already seen it's been weak for a bit anyway. Now it's just going to further reason for it to be weak. South Korea was another one. Then the other ones were Kazakhstan, Laos, a couple other Southeast Asia countries. So what that led to, like, some volatility. Was it going to be trade wars? Was it going to damage things? I think what people are worried about is him shifting his attention to Europe. So I think the market was in a bit of nothing was actually affecting Germany for now, or Europe for now, but I think that is the lingering concern. So we did see the market sell off, most notably on the US ones. Really, to me, that just gave an excellent buy the dip opportunity. So it was selling off, but I bought it. So as price came down, you could see a lovely reaction. There was a good reaction. I first bought it from from this New York low over here. So price shot down and it wicked into my entry, and then it bounced very nicely. Very nice. Got like a good, I took it on US 30 as well. I'll show you the US 30 level, but on the NAS level last night, the NAS one gave about 70 pips, and then price shot down lower, and it swept this whole zone across here. You see all this consolidation. So that to me, once it got down at that point, this one was a very nice entry, very nice. So I missed it because that was a very awkward time for me to be watching the charts. But I did check in, and I didn't take it on NAS, but I'll show you on US 30 at that point. So US 30 was very good. So look how clean this was, this drop. And I had this level. I can't remember when I drew this level. This line has been in there for a little bit. Can't remember when I drew it. Kind of been that long ago, but see all this consolidation across here. So when I saw this consolidation, and price had dropped so many pips, 700 pips by that point to this level, I couldn't help myself but jump in for a buy. And then this, like just the rebound alone was 200 and something pips, like 270. Crazy moves. Went like, you didn't have to go very big lot size. You wouldn't want to go very big lot size, but if you like this was a very good opportunity. This consolidation, price pushed up, Trump news coming in, threatening tariffs. But then there's all this question about the deadline. So when is this bloody deadline? So much uncertainty with it. Is it a deadline, or is it just this is your tariffs and you don't have to start paying until the 1st of August, or is it going to be tomorrow, the 9th? A lot of uncertainty, keeping everyone guessing. So I think gave the market room for some volatility. Anyway, if you just try to put all that kind of volatility behind you, and then just ask yourself, and then be like, do I just want to trade from good zones? Then absolutely, just put some levels. That's some good zones. Sometimes you're going to get burnt. Sometimes you're going to be very surprised how nice that these levels hold up, because they get hit and then news comes out. Anyway, so what do you guys think for today? Do you think for this?
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
When your logic of if Asia's strong and then pre-London strong, it's unlikely that London's going to buy at the high, so they're going to artificially push the price down to get a better buy price.
Mm-hmm.
Why does pre-London? So why does Frankfurt open follow Asia? Why doesn't Frankfurt think, I don't want to buy the high because Asia's been bullish for the whole session, and why doesn't that push? Why don't they artificially push it down? Is there good logic?
It doesn't always follow Asia, though. So this one didn't. Like yesterday, it went down first before up.
When Asia has a very strong session and ends on, if it's bearish. So if you look at the left of your screen, it's a very bearish Asia session, and Frankfurt carries on.
Even this one here.
Yeah. And if it's a bullish session, Frankfurt carries on.
I think because when the actual stock market opens, there's market on open orders that are set to be triggered, and a lot of these are just passive orders, as in people putting money into, like when people mindlessly just buy ETFs, like me included. There's always those kind of orders that people put orders in during the day, and then the hedge funds need to go out and buy the shares on the open, or they choose when they buy it like a couple of times during the day. So you always got market on open orders that get triggered at the first opportunity to buy stocks, and a lot of these companies don't really care when they buy. They just people said, like, you get paid. Some of your money goes to your pension fund. Your pension fund is required to buy stocks based on how they're allocated, and they just put the orders to the market, and then so when the actual stock market officially opens, that's the buying and selling of underlying assets. But then when London Open comes in, the London desk comes in, and you've got the London, like you got institutional traders that are trading for profit. This is now where they will
Right.
now
That
manipulate
makes sense.
price. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, combination between people trading for profit and people just trading because orders being processed because they're price insensitive.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Thanks.
Because then when London comes in, that's like it's another hour later. But same.
Yeah.
Like if I put an order in for say Vanguard or BlackRock, so not BlackRock, beta shares. If I say you need to buy me a parcel of ETFs, whatever they the mega caps, the large caps. Now they've got to go and buy 5% is going to, they package it all up. So 5% is going to go to Apple, 4% is going to go to Microsoft, 3% is going to go to Nvidia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then they combine it all, and then it's just issued as an order at any price. It's just at whatever time during the day. Okay, so we've had a pretty strong open here. We've got a couple wick rejections. I don't like this area up here. I'm assuming we fill this wick. That's what I'm assuming. We'll fill up. So because price did push up all the way before it found sellers that dropped price. So that means this wick here would likely have thinned any orders that are inside of here. So this is where it just couldn't go any higher. So I'm assuming now that they've got more momentum again, we're just going to fill that wick. And now once we're above in this empty space, this is where we've got unfilled orders in all this empty space. So I'm assuming we're going to keep on going up. Now, how we get up there, we've got a little triple wicker right over here. So we've got this zone where Frankfurt Open has kind of consolidated in this zone, but we've had like a pretty decent rally ever since the Aussie press conference. So this is kind of unusual, like that kind of momentum, because the actual Frankfurt Open has been very flat. This is Frankfurt Open. So Frankfurt Open hasn't really done a lot. Oh no, sorry, I lie. This is Frankfurt Open down here. So Frankfurt Open was that candle, the red candle. So it pushed down initially, and then it's ground higher. So taking out Frankfurt low would stop out, would put some pressure on some orders from London traders. Frankfurt traders. Yeah, I think kind of just the wick fill will be the easiest idea, just to fill this wick, which is 30 something pips away. We've got 4 minutes. Yeah, I just don't particularly like this. This is a bit unusual. I find it difficult to kind of find a zone in here, don't you? Because it's just a grind higher. It's like 45 degrees up. Oh yeah, there's definitely upside. It's just unfortunately when we've got everything so overbought, shows you momentum's clearly to the upside, but your risk reward is not very good when everything's overbought. Yeah, that's right. I'm just going to have to hold off. Gonna have to hold off any entries for now. Even if it goes up, I just don't think the risk reward is that great for me.
Where do you think the entry is going to be then, Hayden?
Don't know yet. I have to see. I don't think the price action I'm looking for is developed yet. Sometimes it's like you see sometimes the way that it moves up, you can see clear areas that I'm happy to trade from. But then the way that this is means I need to wait and be patient, let price action develop. I just don't think it's I don't think it's here yet. All right. Well, I'm going to get the terminal ready anyway, in case we do see an opportunity. But at the moment, I think the opportunities look a little bit slim. Is anyone in buys already? If you are, well done. See, this would be a lot easier if this wasn't there. I mean, it's easy. It makes it easy to look for a target up to the New York high, but if New York had like closed up into the highs, it'd be a lot easier for us to anticipate London. But because New York had a clear rejection up here of something, there's going to be a bunch of people that are in buys, most likely, thinking that this is breaking out and going to the moon at that point, triggering a lot of buy orders, or just people having some orders sat here anyway. That with the way that it dropped, like so, when it comes back up, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of issues, maybe above price, because people be thinking, oh, I held all that drawdown, and now give them a chance to like get out. So we've filled the wick basically. There we go, filled the wick now. So this is the open. So it's a pretty strong London candle here.
Wow. So you're thinking about selling then, Hayden?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. I mean, yeah, like I learned that lesson a long time ago. Just because I don't see easy buys, it doesn't mean I automatically go for sells. Like, I'd go for sells if it was at a zone that I liked, and I do like above here, but to me, momentum can be a pain. So I'm sure we're getting some. The way that we're so overbought here, and the way that we had a consolidation, I'm sure there will be some institutional selling into strength, but I don't think this looks strong enough for institutions to be selling just yet. So I think price is likely that it will grind higher, and then when it looks strong for all money, that's where I think the end will come. So we could very easily fill this whole space. And then above here, if I haven't been able to find any buy entries, and it's just grinding, and then it's above this black line, and it's looking ready to break out, then I think that's when you can have a counter trend opportunity.
So what's fueling this then, Hayden, do you think?
This rally right now?
Yeah.
I think markets climb a wall of worry, so there is a lot of worry in these things, but I think a lot of people are just underestimating that you've got a few things. Like businesses they're getting much more efficient with AI, even if you've got global demand coming down. But you're like, we are seeing like some slowing in the hiring process. You're getting businesses getting more efficient, but you've also got a whole bunch of this fiscal spending going on, and fiscal spending is going to ultimately create demand. Like if you've got like, what is it, half a $500 billion in the eurozone that they're committing to spending on multiple things like infrastructure, defense, specifically defense because of the NATO increase. All this money is going to be printed and piled into businesses. So that's going to be a lot of demand for the businesses themselves. But then also just the act of printing and is going to ultimately weaken fiat currency. So when you've got stock market, which is priced in fiat currency, the actual stock market is going to continue going up because you're just losing purchasing power with all this money printing going. So I think it's a combination of a few things.
So you don't think they're worried about the tariffs now?
No, I don't think so at all. I think the tariffs, I think Trump's right. I don't think these tariffs are going to bring in inflation. I just can't see how it does. Because if it, like, inflation goes up when there's too much demand for fewer goods. Like there was inflation with COVID because everyone stopped working, and then they just pumped money into the economy, and that you just cut the supply chains down. If tariffs go up and they go on to these items, and items cost more, consumers will just, just like seasonal fruit. I mean, I don't go and continue my way of living getting like nectarines and, summer fruits if it's not in summer. So people have a choice. They just get some other price. And like inflation, the way they measure inflation as well is you've got a lot of goods that just aren't affected by tariffs. Like one of the big things we're discussing is like rent, right? Homeowners equivalent rent, not for me anyway. This is like in the US, is people worried that the cost of goods are going to go up, but people have a choice. They just buy something else. And if people have like a basket of things that they need to buy, you might have to pay more on some things, but then you pay less on others, or you can't buy some of other things. So there will be some increased demand or some increased spending on some things, but then other items, there will just be no demand. And if you've got no demand, you can't keep charging higher prices. So they say it's like you rob Peter to pay Paul, is that you really just, some things will go up as a price shock. There'll be a one-time price increase, but then other things will soften the blow. And if things are getting more expensive, it just kills demand. So if there's no demand for things, you can't keep on hiking prices. So it's going to be a combination of the consumer having to wear some of the price cost, but also the producer they'll have to eat some.
Yeah.
So I just don't see how there's going to be an inflation coming from tariffs. All you do is kill demand. If you kill demand, that's deflationary. All right, so London, I think it's a good move not getting into the buys for London. Even though it did the Wickfield, you would have had to have been in. That's what I meant. Like there was the Wickfield opportunity. Okay, but when London opened, the Wickfield opportunity, it did push, and that's 40 odd pips would have been. I would love to take 48 pips, but where would have I put my stop? And how long could I have held that? That's what I mean. There was a viable collection there, but the reward for the risk you're taking on is just not so good. Now, taking the sell above here, if that was your plan, to take a sell thinking there's going to be profit taking, then that's a bit of a cowboy entry, and this time would have paid off very nicely. Stop loss, I guess, could have been above the black line. Or if you just went in thinking that, look, this is a very unusual price action when it just grinds like that. So it's very little in terms of like physical structure that price can, that just doesn't support price, that kind of movement. So when it pushed down, now coming down, it would have been better looking for the sells if you were looking for sells, given that we were overbought for some time as well. Did anyone take those sells? I didn't. I'm still just biding my time here. But it made sense for the wick fill. Just wasn't much room in it. And then going for the cowboy sells would have netted you a nice profit now. Oh, it was on the Tokyo fix, was it, Tom? Just noticed. Where's the VWAP? Oh man, that was a missed opportunity. Yeah, gosh, no, that was a missed opportunity. The VWAP, that third standard deviation. Should have thought about that when price was grinding up like that. And it pushed up, third standard deviation of the VWAP back to the VWAP would have been, that's a pretty good trade. Kind of like this. Doesn't happen every day, but these third standard deviation VWAPs didn't work yesterday. Yesterday it was a bit of a, but got to consolidate for so long here. But these third standard deviations, see, quite nice. Third standard deviation, back to the VWAP. Third standard deviation, back to the VWAP. Again, the day before, hit the third standard deviation, back to the VWAP. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity for. I'm not very bearish overall. That's the thing. Anyway, there'll be another trade. Just don't do your doing, guys. Be very patient. So we're at the, I think, where are we at? So New York, Frankfurt's still in play. This was the Frankfurt Open. And I haven't taken that Frankfurt low yet. That's Frankfurt Open. Didn't get a sell, Tom? Yeah. Let the trades come to us. Don't force trades. How did we open on the stock market, by the way? Oh, SAP. Look at SAP. Oh, wait, no, sorry. This is yesterday. That's right. It's got the little D here, which means delayed by 15 minutes. So Deutsche Telekom, though, because it's on the Getex exchange, that's down. The Move, Siemens, Merck, they're all opened up. The car companies we need to wait for. Volkswagen opened up. It's a surprise. We'll see SAP and Siemens though, they're the big one. So we've got to wait another 3 more minutes until they open. least we got a more movement than yesterday. 84 pips in the first 10 minutes. I mean, that's 60% more than we got yesterday for the first hour and for the first 2 hours. SAP opened up, but pulling back. Okay. Yeah, anyone got any ideas yet? What are you guys thinking? Long, short? Oh, this is a range. Oh, no, it's not. It's not. Sorry, other way around.
I think it's going to have to break north of where it touched, and that line, that black line that you've got, because that runs across that on mid-June, touches last Monday's high.
Say that again, mate.
That black,
Which line?
yeah, that black line at the top there.
This one here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then that where it's actually touched today, coincidentally, the Tokyo fix from last Monday, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
See, something that we can be looking for is letting London do its thing. So London obviously did like a little liquidity grab. So they bought up. Now they're pushing price down. Now if we can get like some sort of consolidation, they could be basing and they can be building up some sort of like range. And then if price sort of builds up in here and it pushes down, then you've got clear signs. You're going to have liquidity here. Then price, maybe if it wants to continue its run higher, we are oversold now in the stockies, so we have come down quite nicely. But it could either come back up and it can hit here, and it can either reject. And if it rejects, then it's much more likely that it's going to retest this low and then down some more, and then like come down towards Asia session. Or if it comes down and then it forms a base and it's breaking this high again, then it's much more likely then to go back up to the London high. And then that this was just they push price up, trigger some buy people, push price down, force the sellers, bought low, and then push price back up again. So I'm really interested to let this price action play out, and then we can see what's up. But it's looking increasingly likely. Like this is shaky. When I pointed out this is pretty shaky price action. There's not a lot of support in this.
Yeah, it's looking like a down day to me. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes out the Asian low.
Yeah.
Maybe even goes to New York lows.
I mean, look at this reaction, where it reacted from just then as well. I'll make this line. Look at the open for last week. If I make that line, I'll make that line yellow. Okay.
Yeah, from last week.
Yeah. So look at what it just took. This is just a reaction from last week's weekly high or weekly open. Sorry. Weekly opens a pretty significant price point.
What happened last week? People were coming in and selling. Looks like it, doesn't it? They just sold, and then London took it back up and sold it as well. And then
I don't think they sold.
New York.
I don't think they sold necessarily, but the week before was a lot of hype. Like this was just because remember, like it seems so long ago now, but this is when the week that Trump, that the US bombed Iran on this weekend, and the market was very unsure what was going to go on, and that ceasefire held, and it was just rally, little pause, pull back, but rally, and then rally strong into the weekly close. So you've got this is a pretty big move in that previous week, and then to me it wasn't necessarily selling, it was just a bit of profit taking. Because price only came back like a little bit, so we never actually even got back to like this consolidation area before it moved higher. We never broke down. So to me, this is just very simple profit taking up here.
What about these gaps here, Hayden?
It's just Pepperstone. So
Okay.
yeah, like if I go Forex.com, it shows you more of the pre-market trading. It's just Pepperstone. They changed their price feed so that they don't open until the Tokyo exchange. So they're closed for about 3 or 4 hours. And what they wanted to do was just to reflect more normal trading conditions and give data only in those trading conditions. So these gaps aren't necessarily gaps on other brokers. It's just it was traded between New York Stock Exchange close and Tokyo Exchange open. Pepperstone just don't give you the data anymore. Only reason I'm using Pepperstone chart today, I normally use Forex.com. It's just because yesterday Forex.com wasn't working, and I just started drawing zones of Pepperstone and I could be asked to. Now, once I'd already done it this morning, I was like, oh crap, now I don't have to do the same thing again on Forex. Tomorrow I'll use Forex.com again, I'll clear everything again and do it again. But those gaps it's just they're not gaps. It's just like this candle here, you see closed at 9 o'clock, see the time down the bottom, and the next one opens at 1 o'clock. So there's a 4 hour, there's a 5 hour gap. Well, there's a 4 hour gap because this candle here closed at 9 p.m. UK time, and the next one opened at 1 a.m. So it was just a 4 hour window where Pepperstone specifically doesn't give you price data. But that's not present on these other ones. These ones that just close for the usual 1 hour. Adelaide and Michael short to the euro low. Yeah, I mean, it's looking increasingly like this. So we're getting a bit of a consolidation here. So I think we've actually dipped into. We're putting some pressure on Frankfurt. So can we push down lower? We've got the bit of a liquidity grab, and we've got a bit of a drop. We've got a bit of a base. So I think if we're testing above here, this could potentially be. Only thing that's like we're oversold still in the stocky, but if we go to the 1 minutes, I'm sure we'll be getting back up to overbought when we're up in like this zone. So let's see if there's a reaction up here. And if there's a reaction up here and it's pushing down, then I think we're going to make a new low. So I'm not entering anything just yet. I want to see if this reacts, if this rejects up here and it starts pushing down. If it starts pushing down, then I think it will pop down and make a new low, at least take out Frankfurt low. So let's see if we can. The 1 minute, so they're making its way up to overbought. But we want to see if this actually reacts over here. If there's no reaction, then it's likely it's going back up to the London high.
Jump.
Okay, we're overbought here on the 1 minutes now. Let's see. Got a small triple wick area just here. But yeah, if it's pushing down, I need to see it reject, but if it's pushing down, like say down to here, then I'll look to go long. I'll look to go short. If it can reject up here and come back, sort of break this one slow. I think that'll be a good case for it to make a new London low at 1-to-1. Of course, I'll remove some risk. You're short now, Tom? Yeah. See if this is a
Yeah, I'm not totally convinced by it. Well, the price action, like those little pin counters in the 1 minute you've got there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just did what called my was in 4 minutes just to retest if there's like a gap. You just hit that and just go short and just see if it works. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the area that it's either gonna react from here. If it can get lower into this, like if this can hold, if this breaking this high, the short idea is dead. But if it holds and it's pushing down, then I think it's a good chance that we can actually break through this area. I much prefer Forex.com price how it matches the open with the previous close for Pepperstone. It's arguably truer. You've got these little gaps, but it kind of does my eyes in. Come on, reject. Reject. Reject and come down. But if it doesn't reject and it doesn't come down, then that's also telling us something. It's telling us that, look, maybe we can look for longs to go up. Don't get the best price, but we might just have to pivot my bias. At the moment, I think I prefer it's a bit more of a correction.
yeah, it might go higher before it corrects, so which is fine.
Yeah, because I've got the other zones up above here anyway that I've got my eyes on. That if it is bullish, then it's likely to go bullish until a few of these other levels. So there's definitely more upside, more room for upside, but I think I'd prefer for this price action now, for the sake of getting the trade done, is I'd like to see it reject here because I'd like to see it take out some of this liquidity. Yeah, that I'm going to leave it there just to see. What if I invert it? Yeah, I don't trust the longs just yet. But don't let me change anyone's idea. You've got to back yourself. Yeah, I'm happy to wait. I'm happy to wait and see if this does come back down. It's a bit higher than I wanted it to be. I really wanted it to see like what this candle is doing, kind of reacting. But if this candle can actually close pretty strong to the downside, then that's looking good. Otherwise, it's looking like it's going to go and make a new London high. But we'll see. We'll hit that triple wick area. See that one? See that one? Little 1, 2, 3. Tapped right into it. Let's see if we can actually close below this little support that was created. We're overbought on the stocky. Come on, come down. Yeah, my idea is still valid. If it's sort of breaking down, could probably get a little bit of a higher entry. But if it's breaking down, I'll jump in for a sell. Just trying to think for buys though as well. If it doesn't come down, if it rejects. Yeah, if it rejects, the opposite is going to be true. So I think if it fail, like I'm hoping if it comes down to jump in for the sell to target about 50 pips. But if it actually rejects and it's back up towards this yellow line, then I think I'm just going to flip my bias and go for a long, and then trade up to the black line, be about 40 odd pips. At the moment, I want to see if this can actually come back down. It's looking decent. Okay, down she goes. Come on, drop. Just drop like a stone now. Come on. So sitting about 10 pips, 12 pips in profit.
Are you short, Hayden?
Yeah, that's my trade box is right here. Yeah, I went across there. That was where my level was.
Thank you.
That's right. So we're hitting this little zone. So one thing that does concern me is the 15-minute. The 15-minute to me is a range. So when you've got a candle like this, which pushes up and it rejects from the top and it closes bearish, and then you've got a bullish candle that breaks the low but closes bullish, to me, this is a range right here. So if price is pushing down, getting down into these wicks, as soon as it gets to 1-to-1, I'm securing, guys. I'm already thinking, because it pushed down like 12, 13 pips, that I don't want to take a full loss on this. So if it does flip on me, and yeah, if it does flip on me, I'll get out pretty quick smart, because you don't want to fight these bloody bulls. But if it can break this low, can push into the here, I think we can take out some of this eurozone. Come on. Let's drop a bit more. Move stop loss, lock in some profit, Tom. Nice one. You got a nice cowboy entry up there. That was good, man. Yeah, I can't lock anything in. I could make it safe. I'd probably get stopped out though if I move my stop to break even. But I have my finger on the trigger because I do want to protect this. Just wanted to see if it can break down a little bit lower. I don't particularly want to move stops to break even just yet, but I will. I'm not going to move my stop to break even, but I'll have my finger on the button to close it if it's looking bad. Got a little bit of a gap up here, a fair value gap. Come on, drop. The more it hesitates though, the more I'm like, I'd rather just look for another entry. Feels like last night? No, hell no, this is heaps different. Yesterday, like this is 88 pips that it's moved. At least this is good swings. Like you're getting some decent little swings here. Yesterday, this was yesterday. That was yesterday. Like that was horrible. This is way different. But scalping doesn't have to seem fast. Oh yeah, guys, I'm out. Closing that. Close that. Just took a little. If it can drop lower, if it can actually break the lows underneath here, then I'll look for it to push down. But I don't want to play around inside this little zone. So rather just take a mitigated stop out on it. Now my next idea for a long would be if it's rejecting here and then pushing up, I'd be pretty comfortable taking a long, given we've been 37 minutes in. That if it's rejecting like this area, I don't want to risk entering again inside this area where it's kind of consolidated. But if we're breaking up, then that London high, like first time touch of this zone is a little bit, gotta be a bit careful. But breaking above here again, after London's kind of basing itself, could definitely be a London high, and then at least target that black line. But I'm still actually thinking price is most likely going to probably reject some of these areas, come down a bit lower. It's just my entry wasn't great. Like Tom's up here was good, but that's the benefit you get from taking a bit more of a riskier entry, is you get a better price. There's always a trade-off. When you wait for more confirmations, you've got to trade off with the worst price, and you've got to be a bit more aggressive with your trade management. Okay, come on, keep dropping. Yeah, it's looking like there's something coming. Breakout some one way or another, up or down.
How's Maddie going? Haydos?
She's all right. She's having a serious sleep regression through the nights. So spending hours with her when she wakes up. Like, last night got her to sleep at around 8. No, it took me about 45 minutes to get her to sleep. So I think she got to sleep about 9 actually. And then I think she was awake at like 10:30, and then took Sarah a bit to get her to sleep, and then again at 1:30, and then again I think another time took her a bit, and I went and got her at like 5. She was crying and she just wanted to be held, so got her out of the crib. She was trying to climb out, and then she sort of fell asleep on my chest. So I went and sat down on the couch, and then she just started snoring. So then I lay down for about it was about an hour and a half. No, I think it was about 3:40 or something like that. That I lay on the couch with her, and then she was fast asleep that I could put her in the crib about 5:30 in the morning. So it was a solid like hour and 40 minutes. I was just like sort of sat there.
Yeah, you don't quite rest, do you?
Yeah, that's right. So it's very hard to get more than a couple of hours at once sleeping.
Is she teething?
No, she got all her teeth. She got all her teeth super quick. She had her first teeth come through at like 3 months, and then by the time she was 5 months, she already had like 4 coming through. Then she had all the rest come through when she was about 11, 12 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, nice.
super early. Poor thing though, it was like hard work for her, like during that teething process. Now it's starting to feel like yesterday, isn't it, Simon? Yeah,
We
like,
just had one of us come out of braces, mate. So there you go.
oh really? The other end.
Full journey.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard work over here with her teething so early because in Australia when we were because we went to she was born in October and we went to Australia in Feb, but we couldn't get the because she had started teething already before she got to Australia. There's nothing you have for them. And then, because my mother was like suggesting Bonjela, but then when we went to get some Bonjela, they were like, "No, she's too young. You can't get it until she's until she's 6 months." But then in Australia, they've actually got a Bonjela product that's suitable for 3 months. But they just don't have it over here. So poor thing just had to paracetamol, ibuprofen.
Yeah. Oh, she's through it though. That's the main thing.
Yeah, she's through it. What are you doing? You're just in a nappy. Go get dressed. Go get dressed. All right. So I've got a little. Oh, and it's not quite a HCS, but it's looking more and more positive for these longs. Maybe the sell for London. Maybe they got their fill. Is anyone long? Maddie, go away. Oh, see, that's what happens. Go away. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see it break up above here.
First up is under budget at £850.
Oh, sorry, Paul. I heard the background, but I think that was coming from Sarah. I muted you. All right, first little inside bar now. Looks like I think we're ready to go up. Come on. Push and close above this blue. If we can do that, then I think we can do this wick fill and then we can do this black line. It looks like London have accumulated enough of something. Come on, push. Just don't want it to reject this area. I want it to keep on driving higher.
What time frame to close above, Hayden?
It could be low time frames, like 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Or just a convincing break of that line. Like if it gives a convincing break like that, and the next one, maybe it comes down, retests, and then away she goes.
Injecting it.
It's just like this area is just a little bit tricky because this is where London opened. But it's looking increasingly like they've got their position. Yeah, just don't want to get caught trapped. Oops, sorry. Don't want to get caught trapped with like a crappy position inside this area because it consolidated for quite a bit. It's much better. It's much better to wish you were in a trade than be in a trade and wish you were not in this trade.
Yeah, Euro, Aussie dollar.
Yeah. What a curveball that was. What a pain, man. I think all it does is just delay the move. So I don't think it changes anything.
We'll have to be in it for another couple of days, I think, maybe.
Yeah, the focus now.
Yeah, I was just having a look at that now. I was just going to ask you whether it's just giving us another entry there.
I don't know how it's going to react over the next couple of days. Depends on what New Zealand say. Like, I think one thing that could absolutely be the case is Australia came out and they might not want to. I mean, I'm surprised they did hold, to be honest, because all they were saying is about how inflation sort of back down to target and rate cuts have a very delayed effect. So I'm actually pretty surprised that they didn't cut. But then,
I'm just reading the news. It looks like a rate cut's still very much on the cards, though. So
it wasn't a unanimous.
Maybe not going to change the sentiment.
Yeah, it wasn't unanimous, so it means like they're still looking to. If they don't cut, I think the message that seemed to come across was that they just don't understand the potential impacts of these Trump tariffs and this uncertainty. So they wanted to hold things where they are for now, but because Australia and New Zealand are so correlated, maybe this is a misread. And if New Zealand come out tomorrow with their interest rates and they say different, if they come up with a different message, that'll also pull the Aussie dollar with them.
Were you talking about the Australian interest rates, Hayden?
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one will be next meeting, interest rate cut.
Yeah, that's what that seems like, won't it?
Yeah, because the 18.6 year cycle's cut up the end of this year, 26. It'll be a bad year.
Oh, yeah.
In real estate, yeah.
So another thing that I saw a report actually yesterday, I was actually thinking as well. I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Was they were talking about how people are doing currently, and apparently people are actually doing quite well, which I really didn't like. They were saying that Aussie rates have come down a bit over the last few months, and it's taken, apparently mortgage stress is at an all-time low. Is at a multi-year low, mortgage stress. So they're saying the amount of people that actually have enough money in their accounts to cover their next couple mortgage repayments without sacrificing other areas of their life is actually, there's a high proportion of people that can afford that, which surprised me, for sure. But that also shows that maybe the amount of people that were under, like, in a lot of trouble with the interest rates rolling off the low interest rates into high ones, apparently it's not as bad as it seems. So I guess that factored into Michelle Bullock's thinking as well, that the actual risk of defaulting is actually pretty low if they kept their rates steady. But I mean, if it puts a strangle on business, then that's I can understand why homeowners are pissed off. But from an economy point of view, that's not the bigger driver, is it? The bigger driver is going to be China and US. All right, so we've got a nice little.
It comes out tomorrow. You got the Chinese news tomorrow, haven't you? So if that comes in positive for China, that means I think the dollar will strengthen, won't it?
It could. But the Chinese news has been, they've been getting bad numbers, right? And they're predicting bad numbers.
Yeah.
So continuing deflation. It's more what happens with these tariffs. Let's see if we get.
I can't see how the tariffs are an encouragement to Australia, because they're a manufacturing country, and the tariff will hit America, won't it? It won't, and then if they don't buy the product, that means they're going to have to reduce production, which will stifle the economy, won't it?
For the US?
Well, no, for Australia. You're saying they're waiting to see what tariffs happen. It's going to be a negative effect on Australia, isn't it? any tariff.
Not necessarily. So it just means like US and China probably do less business together, but you've got all of Europe who are a huge trading partner with China, and they have China and manufacturing and needing the raw materials from Australia, then doing the manufacturing for Europe and other areas that are expanding. Then there could still be good demand for Australian goods, or it actually does stifle demand, and then there's less need for raw materials, and then that hurts Aussie.
Well, either way, it doesn't. She shouldn't be banking on the tariff, should she? By keeping interest rates high. Either we do business elsewhere with China and remove America from trading partners, or we do. The tariffs are in place with China, America, which will possibly stifle business. I don't see how that's a positive for keeping interest rates higher.
Yeah, the interest rates high, I was pretty surprised with.
Yeah.
All these central bankers, they all say the same thing. They're all inflation, 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 but their track record is very poor. So
yeah,
what they say, what they do, like when they try, like the US had a very good example of that before. That they try not be political apparently, but Powell he cut rates last year in he cut rates before Trump came in. There seemed to be a political push to have to do that, to do a rate cut, to front run any potential like absorption from some tariffs, one thing then, but like inflation coming low, and then now that inflation is actually dropping quite a bit, now he's really hesitant to cut rates, and he's saying a different message. So it's it's clear that they don't like each other, Powell and Trump. And then the things that they say to justify their decisions is quite contradictory. So one thing that Jim Chalmers did say is he said he wants to make it much more transparent so people can understand and predict what the central bank are doing. And he said, they think they moved in the right direction. This one, letting them know who, not necessarily who voted, but how it voted to cut rates or hold rates. So he said at least making it more transparent is the step in the right direction. But he said, look, my job's not to question what they come up with. And he was very political in his response. But we don't know. We don't know what they looked at. But all these central bankers, when they confer with each other, they're all saying the same thing, that they think tariffs are a bad thing for inflation. And right now the focus is the job market is not out of control. So they're all saying the same thing. So this is all about tariffs are inflationary, but we haven't seen it yet. So it doesn't matter what we think. We just need to understand how the market will react to what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so see how we've closed above the blue line. We've come back.
Yeah, I've just gone in for a buy.
Yeah, good move. Little inside candle, stayed above, retested it. Now we're breaking the high of the inside candle. Once we clear here, there's nothing but empty space all the way to that London high right there. So it's looking more and more like these longs. Come on, push, push, push. And look at this hour candle. At hour candle now having opened, it pushed up, came down, and now it's looking like a very strong candle. Come on, keep pushing. You can do it. Break the London high, and then we can keep on going to the black line. push. Who's in longs? Guys in longs? You guys got in?
Hey,
Okay. Looking good so far. So retesting that yellow line again. It's going to push above that, take out the London high, and then you really get some momentum. Come on, keep pushing. I'll secure at the London high. Simon, you're long. Adam, you're long. Perfect. Tom, nope, should have entered but hesitated. Oh, yeah. What percentage will you secure at London High? It's a good question. I was thinking 75%. But
Yes.
I think actually, if this is pulling back now, and now we're pushing up to break that high, I might just secure 20. I think I'm going to just secure 25%. If it just pushed up there in one straight line, I would have secured more. But given that it's pulling back already from this overbought, entry's only sat there basically. So I'm kind of at break even again. But if it reacts from like say here and then pushes up, then I mean I'd even consider scaling in actually. But if it's already done the pullback and now breaking that high a second time, I don't think there's any need to actually scale out anywhere near as much. So because then I think it's to be a straight push up to this black line. So I'll probably actually maybe I won't even scale anything. Yeah, I won't scale anything. If it's pushing up there, I'll scale up closer to the black line. But if it had gone up in a straight line and it hadn't had the pullback, then I want to secure more. But I think I'll just, yeah, given this is the pullback, given that this is the seaming of the structure, it could easily retest. And if it's rejecting here and pushing up, I'd actually consider buying again, buying more. This yellow line, been a pain, man. It's an Asia high, so it's a little accumulation inside of here. See this accumulation from 30 June. Once we can break into it above this area, this is a bit of supply. This zone. Once we can break into that, it should be a straight shot all the way up to 124, 170, or at least the London high here, which would be about 24, 164. Okay. if you didn't get in, a bit risky, but this is a potential good area. If it rejects here again, okay, rejects here again, given that it's consolidated a little bit, pushing up is a very good sign for that to break. Come on, push very strongly from here then. What will be my stop loss? For entering from around here, Nish? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Well, if it's this is the, I think this is an example where, like, if it's going too deep into this area, like if it's pushing down too much, it's likely that it could be rejecting these highs. And I don't think putting your stop loss underneath these lows is necessary, because if it's like, if you've got a little fair value gap here, so I'd have a fairly tight stop loss, to be honest. You can go low risk with a tight stop loss. Maybe it takes a 1 or 2 entries, like you can have a cowboy entry right now to see if this does reject, and then push up with a tight stop loss, like say about here. And then if it does stop you out, but then it's breaking that blue line again, you can have it another go and then just use the same stop loss. So I think I don't think it's necessary to have it underneath here, because if it's going down, if it's breaking a second time, then it's, it'd definitely take out these lows if we really are rejecting the supply area. So it's probably better just go to dial your risk back and just go for risk reward rather than going for a wide stop loss. It looks pretty good. The new hour candle, or when we get a new hour candle, makes sense for little pullbacks as well. All right, well, it's that time. I'm gonna have to make a move soon. So around 9:30ish, we know we get another little volume push. Well, we get a volume push as soon as we close the stream. But if we can get, if we can, depending on how it moves around here, 9:30 to 10:15 is when we can get the next push. But if we can keep on holding the support and we're looking more bullish, like if you get some bullish candles here as well, kind of confirming that we're not going to go down lower. Well, we're talking probabilities, not certainties here. But if it can hold and it's starting to make like another higher low, then I mean, I'll be surprised if it stops around here. But the main idea that I'll be thinking is for price to push up above here when it does get that volume push, which could very likely be anywhere between over the course of the next hour. I'd say if it's going to go up there, it should do it before 10:15 UK time. And if we are pushing above here, we should at least do this move. Like, it should be at least 25 pips. Once it clears this area, it'll be a straight. It will just be a straight move up. So, I mean, you could do buy stops up here if you don't want to play around with trying to pick the lows. Okay, so I think that's going to be. I mean, it's looking pretty decent. You should be up if you entered from here. You should be about 15 pips now. It's looking good. Just needs to bust up through there. Come on, push. Just do it for us. Do it before I have to go. I'm going to have to go in the next few minutes to take Maddie to nursery. Got the idea, the entry. So I'm thinking something like this to about here. To about there at least. Just gotta trust the idea, you know. Don't watch paint dry. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to bounce. I have to get going here.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Hayden.
Good luck.
Thanks, Hayden.
Once we get some momentum, it should be a good little move. Okay, but when it gets to the New York session, that's when the fun and games are going to begin with old Trumpster wielding his magic with the Twitter or the X or Truth Social, whatever it is. But good luck. All right, good luck. If you've got a nice entry here.
Thanks, Hayden.
It's been a few nice little moves.
Bye, everyone.
Today. See you, Danny. Been a few nice little moves. Kind of trading, not hugely volatile, but it's been trading in about a 90 pip range. So there's been a few swings you could have captured. The stock has been pretty nice actually because it's low volume. So when things have been getting overbought, things have been falling. When things get oversold, I didn't notice this actually, but that divergence down there was a very nice buy entry. Getting a bit overbought again, which is kind of sucky. But see if the blue one, if it can push up, maybe we just get a bit more slowness. But eventually, I think it's just going to keep on grinding. Kind of looking like we've got a bit of a channel forming. So that's what I'm kind of estimating. Maybe we just stick in this channel, and we just eventually it just could be slow going, but ultimately get up there. Alrighty, take care, guys. I will see you all tomorrow morning. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hayden.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Yeah.